Nigeria today will begin in Lagos, where the new terminal at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport is now ready for use. The facility is also expected to handle 20 million passengers a year. Earlier today, President Buhari commissioned the facility as part of activities lined up for his one-day working visit to Lagos. The new terminal comprises of a 4-story main terminal building, 3-story finger building, 2-story cargo terminal building, 82,925 square meter apron, and external and ancillary works. It also has 60 sets of check-in counters and 7 boarding bridges.
This event is an eloquent testimony to the strong commitment of our administration to the development of world-class infrastructure across all sectors of the Nigerian economy. Our continuous investment in the building of long-lasting infrastructure in the aviation, road and rail transportation, agriculture, telecommunications, and other critical sectors is yielding massive results, and the people of Nigeria are now increasingly attesting to benefiting from the associated dividends. Starting from the year 2015, when we commenced our first tenure in office as government, we have been deliberate and consistent in identifying and investing in critical projects that will improve the standard of living of our people, as well as contribute immensely to our growth and development as a nation.
Also, the president commissioned a $2.5 billion Dangote fertilizer plant in the Ibeju-Lekki area of Lagos. According to him, the project is in line with government's drive to ensure food sufficiency in the country. The event was well attended by political, traditional and religious leaders, key members of the private sector from various parts of the country, including the host governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu. The Dangote fertilizer plant is Africa's largest granulated urea fertilizer complex, which occupies 500 hectares of land in the Lekki Free Trade Zone and was built at about $2.5 billion. Now let's turn to the nation's capital, where members of the House Committee on Power has charged the Ministry of Power to make electricity available to Nigerians. That call was made at an interactive meeting on the collapse of the nation's grid. The legislators queried the ministry for presenting to them theories rather than practical solutions to the lingering power outage. Jackie Adisa has details. I will bring you details of that story subsequently. The National Assembly, the Senate rather, has expressed deep concerns over the worsening trend of brutality and ill treatment of Nigerian workers by foreign nationals doing business in the country. The Senate's displeasure over the matter was expressed in a motion moved by the lawmaker representing Bayelsa East, Senator Degi Eremeyo. TJ Swadewe has details.
Frequent reports of brutality against Nigerian workers by foreign nationals doing business in Nigeria has gotten the attention of lawmakers. Now the worried senators are asking questions about how such inhuman acts have continued unabated.
On the urgent need to check.
Senator representing Bayelsa East draws the attention of his colleagues to yet another incident and fears that things may get worse if something drastic is not done.
Worried about the recent case of brutality in the FCT Abuja meted against one Anayo Friday in Dubisi, security personnel working with Kogas Security and Services Limited, and 2 others, including a Shadian, a certain Amos, attached to Useni Technical Company, Gudu District, a company in the business of servicing of caterpillars and heavy-duty machineries.
There are several of these cases all over the place, but they are never reported because of fear of further victimization. Your Excellency, sir, I want to believe that this is a case of murder and it should be treated as such with all the attendant penalties.
The Senate strongly condemned the brutal acts committed against the victims, urging the Ministry of Labor and other related agencies to look into the matter. The Senate also urged the Inspector General of Police to investigate and prosecute any person found culpable of such acts in accordance with the laws of the land. From the National Assembly, to Jesu Adeoye, TVC News, Abuja.
Now let's turn to the House of Reps, where lawmakers today queried the Ministry of Power on practical solution to the lingering power problems in Nigeria.
This cannot be the best of times for Nigerians, who, after enduring all forms of challenges, now have to contend with possibly the worst period of power outage. The collapse of the national grid has led to a variety of problems affecting the welfare of the citizens. It has led to collapse of small businesses whose operations depend on stable electricity supply. This has attracted the public outcry, especially in the midst of scarcity of petrol and high cost of commodities.
I received a correspondence from you.
The legislators have called this meeting to find out from those that should know reasons for the embarrassing situation.
There is no light, no fuel, no gas, typically no energy.
The permanent secretary in the ministry stands in for the minister, who is unavoidably absent. He insists that the crux of the matter is that a disruption in the operation of gas plants is responsible for the collapse in the national grid.
Current problems are due to disruptions in some gas plants. Despite proactive actions that were earlier planned to ramp up generation by thermal gas plants at this period in anticipation of low water level at the hydropower stations.
And the lawmakers are livid.
My heart bleeds for this country. We may never have it right, probably during our time.
To assume that there is some level of conspiracy targeted at maybe bringing down government efforts at trying to make power work, despite all the monies we have appropriated to this.
Honestly, my heart bleeds too, because even the solar, the power sector is telling until the end of next year. Yes, so that means we will continue to be in total darkness until end of 2023. Haba.
In a very sad situation. These problems are not just starting now. For instance, we know every year there will be shortage of water. And then there will be problem at this time.
The lawmakers directed the ministry to provide further information on steps being taken to restore electricity to Nigerians and promised to report the development to President Muhammadu Buhari for his action. Joke Edsa, TVC News, Abuja.
Back in Lagos, the Boss Rapid Transport driver Andrew Naija, suspected for the murder of 22-year-old fashion designer Oluwabamishi Ayonwola, has been arraigned before Justice Sherifat Sonaike of the Lagos State High Court sitting at the Tafawa Balewa Square. The suspect pleaded not guilty to the offences of rape and murder of Ms. Ayonwola and another rape incident of a young lady which occurred last November. Kemi Foladiemo has more.
Andrew Naija and others said to be at large were accused of conspiring to rape and murder Bamishi Ayonwola at about 1900 hours on February 26, 2022 between Lekki-Ajah Expressway and Carter Bridge in Lagos. He's also accused of raping another young lady who's 29 years old last November around the Lekki Conservation Center, which is also on the Lekki-Ajah Expressway. Dr. Jide Martins, who is the Director of Public Prosecutions, represented Lagos State, while Isaac Ezekwem represented the defendant. Another counsel, Ayo Ademiluyi, announced appearance for the Ayonwola family.
The Director of Public Prosecutions, Dr. Jide Martins, told Justice Shonoike that there is a strong likelihood that the state government will amend the charges against the defendant, Andrew Naija, and that the post-mortem examination of Ms. Ayonwola is still pending, the result of which will be brought to the court when it has been conducted. Though the defendant pleaded not guilty to the 4 counts charge, his lawyer says they will be considering an option of plea bargain.
Inviting international observers, international forensic observers, international forensic pathologists to so conduct that pathology. It is the opinion, the report of that pathology that would be of use to us. And of course, the prosecution, although we are watching brief, we can only be seen and not be heard. The prosecution also said they will be available to employ video links, which are so about that. Wonderful enough, the late Babisha Anwola was so gallant enough, was so resolute enough to produce serious video evidence that will be useful in this subject.
The case was adjourned to May the 9th, 10th and the 11th, 2022 for trial to begin fully, and the defendant was ordered to be further remanded at the Nigerian Correctional Center in Ikoyi. Earlier in March, Yaba Chief Magistrate's Court remanded the defendant for 30 days, pending the DPP's legal advice, which has now been issued, prompting the case to be heard at the High Court, which is statutorily empowered to hear capital offences such as rape and murder. Kemi Foladiemo, TVC News, Lagos.
The General Officer Commanding 2 Division, Major General Go Chubuisi, has charged officers and personnel of Nigerian Army to be professional in the discharge of their duties to improve the country. Major General Chubuisi made this known during the opening ceremony of 2 Division Inter-Brigade Corporal and Below Competition 2022 held at 32 Artillery Brigade, Owena Cantonment, Akure. At least 275 personnel from 5 formations are participating in the competition, represented by the Brigadier General Umar Abdikadir Mohazu. Division Training Officer, the GOC, said it has become imperative for all the officers and personnel to engage in activities that would help them keep fit in order to curb the activities of insurgency in the country.
The goal of the competition is to improve leadership traits, organizational ability, use of initiative, and esprit de corps among personnel in that category. Above all, it is designed to prepare them for battle, especially in tackling the present security challenges in the country.
Continue to take advantage of this opportunity to improve on our individuals and collective effectiveness in 2 divisions in order to be able to achieve the vision of the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahaya, which is a professional Nigerian Army ready to accomplish assigned mission within a joint environment in defense of Nigeria.
The Nigeria Customs Service Ogun 1 Area Command has impounded a van with police number plate conveying smuggled foreign rice. The controller of the command also disclosed that 18 vehicles and 131 sacks of cannabis sativa were part of the items seized by its men. TVC News, Kazim Olawe reports.
Based on the relentless efforts of men of the Ogun 1 Area Command of the Nigeria Customs Service and their determination to win anti-smuggling war, smugglers are now counting their losses. This was made known by the controller while speaking on the achievements of the command between February the 9th and March 21st, 2022. He confirmed that his men intercepted 1 Hilux van with police number plate and was arrested with 27 50 kg bags of foreign parboiled rice. Speaking on other seizures made in the period under review, the controller noted that the command was able to impound 5,420 bags of rice.
The total revenue generated from this exercise from 9th of February 2022 till 21st of March 2022 is as follows. Total revenue, 1,942,375 naira. The seizures and anti-smuggling activities. The command was able to record about 142 seizures, some of which include 5,420 bags of foreign parboiled rice of 50 kilograms each. This is equivalent of 9 trailer loads of rice.
He added that the command also impounded 133 sacks and 181 wraps of cannabis sativa, 18 units of vehicles, 13 jerrycans of vegetable oil, 5 sacks and 4 bags of used shoes, 880 cartons of frozen poultry products, and more than 26,000 liters of premium motor spirit.
Total duty paid value, DPV, of the above items and others include 143,905,508 naira only. The achievement of the aforementioned was due to strategic enforcement measures and effective use of intelligence put in place by the new administration in the command. As the area controller, I appreciate the collaborative efforts of the sister agencies in the fight against smuggling and sought for continuous support.
He vowed that his men will continue to live up to expectations and want smugglers to turn a new leaf. Kazim Olowe, TVC News, Abeokuta.
And talking politics now, the Edo State chapter of the All Progressives Congress has warned Governor Godwin Obaseki against mortgaging the future of the state through additional loans running into billions of naira. State Chairman of the APC, David Mose, who gave the warning during a press briefing in Benin, insisted the borrowings by the state has become a recurring act without equivalent impact on the people. Paul Ezenwa reports.
Following the defection of Governor Obaseki to the People's Democratic Party before the election in 2020, the All Progressives Congress is now the major opposition party with a role to check and hold the party in power accountable to the people. Now, the APC chairman is expressing concern over some decisions and policies of the state government.
Obaseki's administration has made itself a good customer to many of the country's financial institutions, as it now gets all forms of loan in the name of Edo State government. Unfortunately, these loan transactions are done covertly and for nebulous projects whose scope, utilities, locations, and contractors are largely vague. With the reckless borrowing by Mr. Obaseki, Edo State might eventually not have a state and a patrimony that we can freely call our own. Apart from the statutory payment of salaries to the depleted force of government workers, nothing concrete has been done by the PDP government led by Mr. Obaseki. It is time for Mr. Obaseki to move beyond closed-door meetings and promises to strengthen collaboration, boost strategies, and deploy technologies to make Edo uninhabitable for armed robbers and other criminal elements by providing adequate financial backup for the security agencies.
Dismissing the allegations from the APC, Edo State Commissioner for Communication and Orientation says the statement is untrue and advised that the duty of the opposition party must not be to always condemn, but to join hands with the administration in order to move the state forward.
There's nothing like 7 billion funds to source an already completed project. As you can see, the Light Up Benin City project, has gone very far, the entire city. So the Osioma Power Plant is the one powering it. We have a newly, commissioned State School of Nursing. They didn't mention that. These are just a bunch of palace jesters, as I said. And it's quite unfortunate that we have people like this as the opposition. So they should learn opposition politics. They are just learners. But as I have earlier mentioned, the governor is poised to delivering his promise of making Edo great again. And that you can see across all sectors in the state.
Why these accusations and denials range between the ruling and opposition parties? All that matters to residents of the state is visible development that will better the lots of all. Paul Ezenwa, TVC News, Benin.
In Oyo, some Southwest leaders of the People's Democratic Party say they're in support of the Southern Governors Forum Agreement that the next Nigerian president should come from the South. The PDP stakeholders made this known through a communique read at the end of a meeting held by the extended zonal caucus of the party in Ibadan. The communique, which was read by the Southwest Vice Chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Soji Adagunodo, also reaffirmed the position of the leaders in the unity of Nigeria. They also called for the distribution of federal positions in all geopolitical zones with fairness and equity that will aid national cohesion. In his remarks, the Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde called for unity among members of the party, saying the PDP needs to put aside its differences and give support to the Ekiti and Osun State gubernatorial candidates.
The unity of Southwest is a non-negotiable issue. To this end, we demand that all dispute resolution mechanisms should be on the front burner. 3. The Southwest Zone is in support of the Southern Governors Forum that the next president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria should come from the South.
We got ourselves into a lose-lose situation. Ondo election is also coming back again in another 2 years. It's 2024. 2 years is gone. Now we have Ekiti coming on. We thank God we've been able to at least get everybody together, but there's still a lot of work to be done. If Ekiti will not go the way of Ondo, but I do pray because we have that opportunity now for us to pull together and support our candidates in Ekiti State.
And that's Nigeria Today. I'll be back at 10 p.m. with more stories. Stay with us.